The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast are those of the host/guest and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any of BXR entities and those they represent.
Good evening. It's Friday night. It's another weekend. Welcome everybody to Be Exposed Radio, the Skylyne Radio Talk Show. I'm your host, Skylyne Mark. Due to situations and circumstances, Marie Starr is out indefinitely. We wish her and her family all the best and keep them in our prayers. What's up, everybody? It's Friday. If you're on the East Coast, you know what we're dealing with. We're dealing with this big bad hurricane that they're making such a big uproar for. Latesha, you're in ATL. Shedonna, you're in DC. I'm in Baltimore. Everybody, welcome our special guest co-host, Miss Latesha Higgs.
Hey everyone, nice to be back.
Welcome our special guest, the one, the only Stubbs.
What's up? What's up? Happy Friday, you guys.
What's up, ladies? How y'all doing?
Doing pretty good.
Yeah, I can't complain.
How's your weather out there?
Down here, it's drizzly. You know, it is what it is. The sun comes back out.
Are y'all dealing with the clouds too? Y'all dealing with the rainy weather?
Yeah. Wow. So, but it's not like hurricane, but it's just a little drizzle. That's it. Oh, okay. It's nothing really serious. So, say it again.
What's the temp?
You know, I don't know. I think it was probably in the 70s today.
Can't complain about that,
right? You know, yes, I know. I walked out of work with my just a sweater on. How is it up there with y'all? How's the weather up there with y'all?
I mean, we're in the I think we were like in the 60s, over 65 today, maybe 70, and we've been doing like that, fluctuating up and down. But I mean, we're getting ready to go into weather that you guys don't have to deal with anyway. So, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they talking about 40s and 50s for highs next week. You know, that's that good weather. I'm ready for it.
Nah,
that's too cold.
Yeah.
That's not cold. See, y'all think it's cold because y'all from the DMV. I'm from Chicago. That ain't cold. Yeah. That's good weather.
Yeah, you know what?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I experienced that Chicago cold one time. That's all I needed. That was it. That was it for me. That was it for me. And then they had the nerve to tell me that was a warm winter. I was like, what?
No. Oh, yeah.
I didn't like that.
That Midwest cold is a different kind of cold.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's sinful.
Something that we don't like. Something that we don't like and we don't want to deal with. I mean, in Atlanta, that probably was like Alaska for her. Going to Chicago.
Well, I'm originally from Baltimore, Maryland. So I'm originally from Baltimore, from the DMV. So yeah. So like, yeah.
You know so about it.
Huh?
No, I said so. You know about it.
Yes. I'm good though. I'm good.
Yeah, they were trying to call for a little bit of snow Tuesday night and Wednesday morning, but I see they've since changed that. I thought that ain't gonna last long because it's the weather's too fluctuating right now, and every time it gets a little cool, it warms back up. Chicago's already had snow. It snowed if not twice, 3 times already out there. And even mom and dad were like, that's early because it's not even Halloween yet.
Wow.
So,
I mean, Chicago isn't a place for me. That's not where I'm trying to end up at, Lord. I know they got a lot of community work there, but that's not for me.
Summertime, maybe. Wintertime, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, the winters aren't as harsh as they were 20 years ago, but let's be real. The winters in the DMV aren't even as harsh as they were 20 years ago. Global warming has really taken an effect on the whole globe. And if you want to blame everything on COVID, well, let's blame the weather on COVID too, because Tornado Alley is shifting east. Storms are getting more powerful than they've ever been. It's crazy.
You know,
weather has really gotten.
My ultimate goal is to get myself enough funds up so I can just leave and go to live somewhere like in the Bahamas, or someone where it's warm. I've been here. Africa is the place, so I'm like, my baby.
A couple of years ago, they had something in Ghana called Year of the Return. I forgot what year it was. I think it was either 2018 or 19. I can't remember, but they had something called Year of the Return, asking for Black people to come back to Ghana and to, yeah. I've always wanted to go to Ghana. I've always wanted to visit Ghana.
I've never been anywhere in Africa, and that's like a dream of mine. Like, that's a goal, put it that way. That's like something I probably will cry when I get there, but that's something that I want to do. But I had a friend that took a leap of faith, and she moved over there, and she's been loving it. Like, she said what we think it's like is not like. And I heard a actor, I think from Power, the show Power. I don't watch the show, so I don't really know, but I know he was from there. He said that the prices we pay here, going over there to pay to live, is way cheaper. Now, why am I scared? I don't know, but I'm just scared because of just things I've heard.
Fear the unknown.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Don't knock me for that, you guys. I'm coming.
No. That's anybody. Like, I'm fed up with so much stuff in this country that I want out. I've always said if I ever moved out of this country, I'd move to St. Thomas or Barbados. That weather's tricky come hurricane season, though. You ducking and dodging. If I had to live in a foreign country, I don't know where I'd go. I've always wanted to visit France. I've always wanted to visit Milan and Rome. Could I see myself living there? Never say never, right?
Right. That's the thing. Never say never. And I don't know how old anyone is, but I know for me, like I said, my baby is 17, going to be 18. So I feel like it's almost sweet 16 for me. It's like jumping into that start over season. Like I'm still youthful, so I can do a lot of things that I want to do. And I'm like, well, listen, they're always welcome to come where I'm going to be, because I'll have space. But I'm done with living, in the DC area. I might be done with living in America soon, but that's a whole nother conversation. But I'm just ready to take that leap of faith, because it's like, yeah, I'm gonna leave that alone.
So, Ms. Stubbs, tell us a little about yourself.
Well, my name is Shedonna Stubbs. I've been putting a G in it, which is my middle initial, Shedonna G Stubbs. I go by the name of Stubbs because that's my personality name. I am the host of the Stubbs Show. I am the founder and CEO of the Leap of Faith Network, LLC, which is the umbrella for everything that I do. I'm a community activist. I'm a mom, already mentioned that. And my main goal that I would say in life as I continue to grow is to just become a better person that gives and looks for resources to give back. And that's what the Stubbs Show does. We bring on business owners, nonprofit organizations, musicians, different people. We bring them on the show to talk about the leap before the faith and everything started showing up. So the back end story before we get into the glory. Just to give people some background on me, because some people just say, oh, it's just a talk show and she did this, blah, blah, blah. Throughout the years, I've been the guest ringmaster for the Universe Soul Circus. They brought me out on the elephant. I've interviewed Maya Angelou. That's one of my highlights. I started this saying Oprah was going to mentor me. I worked my way to being on a conference call with Oprah. Didn't get to talk to her, but I got to listen to it and then work as media under her own network when she first got started. I've done White House events. I've started this in a club before it became the Leap of Faith Network and met endless celebrities. I've done red carpet events, the Grammys. So it's all of that led up to me being the woman that I am today, to be the humble woman to understand that success for me is my happiness, my peace, and helping other people succeed in life. And that's me. That's just pieces. So
how'd you get the nickname Stubbs the Chief Rocker?
You added on something else. I got that from you. The Chief Rocker I got from you. But Stubbs actually came from my ex-husband. I was married and we would go out and he started calling me Stubbs. So his friends started calling me Stubbs and our mutual friends. And I love to dance. And they'd be like, go Stubbs, go Stubbs. And I just kept it. And when I took my first leap of faith into doing radio, with a radio station, you had to have a name. And I was like, let's go with Stubbs. They're already calling me that, so I'll go with Stubbs. And it planted on me. But now that I'm maturing as a woman and in the gift and the person that I am, I'm moving more into the Shedonna G Stubbs, because Stubbs she can be a little wild.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Go ahead.
Being post-COVID, how do you feel about this whole Zoom process? What is your take on it?
I don't like it, and this is my first, I do it for like meetings and other things, but I really don't like it far as like I cut my show off. I have pauses until I find other ways to do things, because one, I couldn't manage it this way because I'd learned it the other way for editing purposes. And yeah, I just don't like it.
Okay, I can agree. I'm not a fan of it. I like the fact that with everyone's busy schedule, whether you know each other or not, you don't have to show up to the studio. You don't have to leave your house. So, for example, Latesha's in DC, or Atlanta, you're in DC, I'm in Baltimore, but we're all on the same screen. I like that aspect of it. I like having those doors open. I like the possibilities of where this can go. But yes, I do agree with you. I like the commercial breaks. I like the one-on-one with your guests. I like being able to have edits if you need edits. So yeah, I do agree with everything that you say.
So I do the marketing stuff too. So for
Right.
me, I just went to IG. So I went to Instagram Live because I just feel like you go where the people are. So
Right.
what's easier, but you have a more mature crowd. I'm still tapping in, working on and attempting, and have some that are still in their late 20s for some of the discussions, and then going up further into the older ages. But for them, they're on the IGs and the Facebook. So I do some of the Facebook Live. Like we did our Facebook Live and we got over 1,000 views for that in 2 days.
Right.
That's
Right.
because of the access for them to be, and then you were able to share it instantly. And then we can go back and reshare it. So that's why because I have clients and things that I deal with, I would tell them we go with the social media, because a lot of people don't like doing social media. That's where I come in. I can manage and I can assist you with that. And then I can script, create, and produce.
Right. Right.
That's what the Leap of Faith Network does too.
So how did you come up with your with the network? Like what was your leap of faith that made you to start it?
So I'm going to give the honest opinion because I'm also on Facebook Live. So I was promoting in the clubs, and my background is I come from church. I was a Catholic in school, Jehovah Witness in the summer, and then with my mom, I was a Christian, all of them mixed together. So at one point I started promoting in the clubs, and promoting in the clubs, I needed to be up. I was doing ecstasy pills. I was drinking. I was smoking. Like I was just doing whatever. I was a party girl. And at one point, I guess I was getting burnt out, and God had already had his plan for me. So during the day, I slept. At night, I got up, popped my pill, went out, did what I did. So one day I was just laying in the bed, and I was awakened, and I heard a voice tell me, I want to use you. Get yourself together by 30, or I'm going to take you off this earth. I can't tell you what it sounded like, what it was. It was just, I heard it loud and clear. So I called my mom, and I was like, Mom, I heard this voice. And she was like, that was God talking to you, because the devil not going to warn you. He already got you. He could just take you out. So I said, okay, I'm going to get myself together. I was already planning to go to the club that night because I was promoting for some clubs. So I still went out to the club, and I popped the pill still. But this night, it just looked different. And I still probably went out a couple of times after that. And a little bit before that, I noticed that people in the club, so I'm high and I'm in the club having a good time, but people started looking like waves and demons and spirits. And I started saying, why am I in here? So I just said, you know what? That voice was so loud, and my mom was saying death. And I'm like, let me listen to my mother. And I just stopped. And my brother was working security, and I never forget this. He called me. He said, well, we got Lil Wayne coming in. I'm going to get you in to be able to sit with him and talk. You probably get in. And I'm thinking, well, shh. Okay, let me watch my mouth. I don't know if y'all do cursing on here. So I'm like, I almost slipped with it because, we curse. But I'm like, shh. I'm like, well, dang. Should I? Shouldn't I? And I was like, I'm not. And I didn't go. And it took a lot to keep me from doing the things I used to do, but then it also was kind of easy not to do it. And after I gave in to not doing that, things just started opening. I started doing radio with a station. From there, I was doing some things with Radio 1, got connected with, and don't kill me for the name right now, but she helped me so much. She passed away, but she would have me come to do her events with her, and I would meet celebrities on the other side, where this was moving me more out of the drugs and the club and the drinking and that crowd. I was moving more into the working crowd. So from there, it became a leap of faith, because I never planned to do this. I always wanted to be a teacher or a business owner. I would see people on TV, and I would say, I want to do that. I just never knew how. I wasn't an actor. I didn't go to college. I graduated with a 1.7 something. I was pregnant graduating, so I just never thought I would be able to do this, but I always got along with people, and I was a people's person. So after that opened up, Sheila Stewart, I believe that's the name, Sheila Stewart, from Radio 1. And I started working with her, and I was doing stuff with her. And from there, other doors opened. I started interviewing celebrities, and I went to the Grammys, and got connected through some type of Grammy award bag thing, and started doing the Grammys with them. And I got into the White House. And then one day I got a call from the Universe Soul Circus, because I got back into church, and I was posting stuff about me going to church. And they said, well, hey, we coming, and we need somebody to bring some pastors to us for our people before the circus open. And I'm thinking, me? Okay. So I got my pastor to come in my church, and we brought them church, and my mouth is my blessing and my curse. So something went wrong where I was supposed to go up one day, and they didn't bring me out. And I'm like, I'm doing this for them, and they didn't bring me out. And I was telling my mother, I should go off and cuss them out. Z, don't tell nobody this part. But I was like, my mother said, be calm, be the new you. I stayed calm. And I remember Blue, shout out to Blue too. They told me, we want to bring you out on the elephant. I said, I ain't never ride no elephant before. I'm not getting on no elephant. They was like, just do it. We apologize for that. And I said, I'm going to do it. On this day, somebody who had did me wrong in the business was in the crowd, and they was pressed to tell me, we here. And I was like, okay, and they did their little part. But they said, we're going to bring you out on the elephant. They opened up those curtains in front of your enemies. When I say God will prepare you in front of your enemies, they opened up that these people had did me wrong, accused me of things, and used me. They opened up those curtains and that elephant came out. And I was like, what's up, DC? I didn't even know I was going to work the mic like that. It's your girl Stubbs. And I introduced myself. And from there, everything was a leap of faith. Everybody that I've ever met, the connections, I don't know what I'm doing a lot of times. I just make it look good, even still to this day. I don't know, but God placed people to teach me, people to train me, people to show me, people to care about me, and people to love me enough when I'm being disobedient to stick around with me. I've been down to the bottom, and people have even came to pay for things for me. So from there was the leap of faith, and my entire walk ever since then has been a leap of faith every year. So I went up, he showed me what it and gave me a taste of it, and boom, I went down.
So I want to say that I heard earlier this week, my pastor said something that I really love. And he's talking about when you experience something that opens up doors, many doors, and it sounds like he called it a pregnant platform. And I love that. So it was just like that universal circus was like your pregnant platform. It gave birth to so many opportunities for you. So like, what was that like to go? Because I've experienced that when I'm going up and then I just crash. And what people don't get is when you crash, you really learn who's in your corner. You really learn who's in your corner. You learn who's your friends. You learn who's your family. I shared the last time that when I was on here, experience that I had when I remember Margaret. I tell you, I was all on the news going off on that little girl in school, and so I'm telling you, like when I was at a very good point in my career, like I was known in the school district and by the superintendent and the deputy superintendent themselves. So, and then I just, for me, now I'm not saying this happened with you, but for me, pride comes before the fall, so for me, I got a little prideful, and I know that's what a lot of that was me getting a little prideful, and God had to remind me, no, I put you here, and so, but from that experience, it taught me humility, but it also taught me, who's there. It really, and I said, when I get back to that place, and I ain't gonna say I'm there, but I feel like I'm better than what I was before. Yeah. I don't hate them. I forgive them, but I know that as God continue to bless me, I'm good. You'd already showed me. Sometimes I feel like God will use those situations to so that when he elevates you again, who don't need to be on your coattail, to be careful who you bringing along with you. I ain't going to go into all that, but so tell what was that like for you?
Speaking from many falls levels right now, I've learned you break to go higher. When God is in it and he's giving you something, I had to learn that, hold on. I had to learn that old money don't look like new money. And when he's doing something with you, it don't look like what the world think it is. So you need to, so it's like, so when people say success, there's different levels to success. Some people become material success where they get just the material things of life. They do just the minimum. But when you are a worker for God, and when he has something for you, you got to be confident, one, and you have to know who he is, and then you have to know who you are under him. So, right, I've had my times where he had to humble me, where he's had to spank me, where he had to show me, wait a minute. I was just saying the other day, oh, he'll have you thinking you're here about to fall and bust to the white meat. And he catch you right before that skull crack and say, well, come on, daughter. I'm going to bring you back up. I'm going to give you this little bit. But also he has to build faith in us. So if he's the one that started it, and I know when I say, Father, give me more faith, I already know now as I'm maturing in him, and I still got a lot to learn. When you ask for faith, you're going to get a trial.
Yeah.
You know, you will get something for you to believe in him more. You know, and if you thought the last one to build your faith was like bone crushing, well, you about to go through some spiritual stuff right then and there, where he's going to take you to these limits so that you can go to higher levels, because with higher levels is more devils. And when you said family, when you said friends, everybody want these people to support them when they grow, and they think that their familiar faces is going to be the one. But no, you got to go into some dark places, new places. You know, you got to be willing to, I always say, it's easy for me to let people go now because I'm comfortable with meeting strangers. I understand that strangers are the one that support me. And I understand that what you give is what you get. So I'm not looking for the people around me to give me certain things. I'm looking for it to be a stranger, because those are the people who I'm blessing, who I'm helping, who I'm doing. The people that's close to me all the time, those are ones that I'm careful of, because the devil don't never use a stranger. He gonna use somebody close, near, and dear. So it's not going to be a stranger that's going to hurt me. It's going to be somebody around me. So either I'm going to keep strong people around me and guarded people, and those people don't have time to be around me all the time either, because they're working. But we're protected in our loyalty, our love, and our actions, and our connection to God. The people who I party with all the time, I'm sorry, I'm not talking about y'all, but it's the truth. You got to be strong, because the devil tests everybody that come to me, a man, anything, you're going to get tested, because you with something that's constantly growing, constantly moving. You know, my favorite word now is I don't know. When people like what you want or what, I don't know. Because I done said last year some things I wanted, and I didn't change it. I didn't say some things last week. I changed it because God showed me something where I was wrong, where I was right, where it was indifferent, where I need to change. He opened my eyes, my brain, my spirit. And I said, well, Dad, I thought I wanted this, but I don't want that no more. So it's always an up and down. You know, you're going to always go through your ups and downs. You're going to go through your don't say you're lonely, because people are going to say, pray, you got God, he's always around. Your lonely physical moments. So, you know, you have those times. So I just learned to deal with it. I'm just waiting for a man that can bear with me. Where's my Boaz? I don't need no Ad. I always get Adams. I always get the Adams. You know, Adams, I can get them.
So tell me about the Adams. Wait a minute. Before you say that, you hear that, Mark, right? So what's the Adam? What's the Adam?
Oh God, Adams are the ones that Eve was able to get to give the apple. You know it's wrong, but you're gonna do it. I need the one that's gonna lead me, the one that's gonna say, baby, I love you, you beautiful, you sexy, I want something tonight, I want to do this, I want to give you away, but that's not the way we got to go. We got to do it this way. So then he's gonna lead, because I'm a leader. So if I'm leading the man, or I can get him to do any and everything, I mean, spoil me, baby, but you got to be able to lead, because I'm going to get bored, or it's going to get tricky. The devil going to bring another woman. You're going to sleep with her, or she going to lead you out the forest, and you're not strong enough to understand that this ain't what's important. It's good. It's not my show. Let me tune it back in. It's not my show. Because, you know, we talking, we open on minds, but I want to keep it on, you know, we exposing. I thought we was exposing.
Look, if you slip, hey, slips or slips.
I shouldn't have been drinking.
And look, slips or slips. I've slipped once or twice before.
I'm not gonna read all the way into that with a man. You know, y'all slip in two things.
See?
I'm
I'm not that dude. Look, been there, done that. Look, I'm too old for games. If I want to play games, I go to the arcade. I don't want no Karen. I don't want no Linda. I don't want something that has nothing to bring to the table. I might not have a full place setting, but I have something to offer. All I ask is patience and honesty and communication. Communication is my #1 pet peeve. If you cannot communicate, we ain't got nothing to talk about. I'm not gonna waste your time, so don't waste mine.
Hold on, but can you take honesty?
Honesty.
Communication is one thing, but can you take honest communication? Because a lot of men can't take. I did a show where talking about why so many successful Black women are single or strong Black women. You know, everybody wants a woman that can build and do this, but do you men really want a woman that's going to build you or a woman that's going to just care for you like mommy? Because building you is different than caring. So can you take honest where she can say some things that might hurt you and you can fix it and accept it? Or
I don't need a mom. I already got one of those.
That's interesting. You said that.
Let's build together. Let's grow together. Honesty. Look, if you can't be honest, then how are we going to grow and build?
Right.
Corrective criticism. If you can't have corrective criticism, how are we going to grow and build?
Right. And that's interesting you said that because, as a professional Black woman too, and having my own business, nonprofit, as well as an LLC, and being a mental health speaker and advocate and being vocal, dating is not a problem for me. Like going out, meeting people, dating is not a problem. So, and then what I've had to learn, I've met a lot of men that were jaded because of past relationships. You know what I mean? And so the problem for me is because they have been so jaded, and Mark, maybe you can help me understand, because they've been so jaded, they project onto me what they think. Like if I sometimes I felt myself walking on eggshells if I saw some things that I was just like, I wasn't going to go for, or that I didn't like, or, that I thought could help improve that person. And I found myself walking on eggshell because the moment I say something, because they were so jaded, and I guess the women that they were talking to did not know how to communicate their needs without emasculating the man, that when I go ahead and present it in a certain way, it's like they snap. And so when I, been able to bring it down and calm down the situation and things like that, and really explain to them what I mean, it comes out like, oh yeah, I might have said something like, I will give you one example. I might have said something like, you need, but I didn't say it, and you need to do this and the other. And it is probably something like, well, what you need to do is such and such and such, right? And I know I didn't say it, in a disrespectful manner or anything. But after the gentleman and I talked, it came out that with me saying you need triggered in him what that other woman was, how she used to say it. And he acknowledged, no, you didn't say it like that, but it triggered that. And I think as successful Black women, we have to understand, there's a way that we can communicate to our men without emasculating them, because we want them to be strong, but then we're turning around and we're taking strength from them, And so I say that because I have a 25-year-old, right? Okay. My son is 20. Thank you. He's 25 years old, and I teach him to be strong. I teach him to be the leader in his relationship. But what he's not going to do is he's not going to have any woman talk to him any kind of way. You know what I mean? Because at the same time, even though he's my child, I don't talk to him any kind of way because he's a man. You know what I mean? I respect his privacy. That's my baby now. Don't get it wrong. Somebody do anything, I'm going for the jugular with my son. Like, nobody mess with my son.
I know that. I know that's right.
But I respect him as a man, and so because of that, he's not going to take just anything off of someone else. And I think that one of the things that, and I probably going to get all kinds of hate email for saying this, but I think as strong women, whether you're Black, white, Hispanic, whatever, there's a way, because we were created to be the helpmate, which means that God is not going to create somebody that's weak to help. When you're looking for help, you're not going to look for somebody weaker than you to go give you the help that you need, right? So what I'm saying is, if I need help carrying a large box up the stairs, I'm not going to look for somebody weaker than me to help me carry this box. I'm going to look for someone that's just my strength or stronger to help me carry it. So I say that to say, go ahead.
I want to jump in real quick, because you brought up Black, white, and Hispanic. So before you go any further, would you say that Black men have now come to where, and Mark, you could come in, because I've dated white men, Spanish men, Black men, Indian men, but the thing is, well, wait, not Indian, quite 100%. I would like to, but
she putting it out there.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is that, have you seen that with dating the Black men, the help me is different? They do expect you to be a little weaker than just the strong woman that you think to be.
No. The guys that I've dated, they've wanted the strong woman. The problem was when they got it, they didn't know how to handle it.
That's
you
what
know
I'm
what I'm saying?
saying.
So it was just like, what I would say is like they were they didn't when they got it, it was just like how can I explain it? I would never disrespect them. I would never disrespect, and I made sure I did what I was supposed to make sure that they don't, like they can come back today. I mean, I have guys that if I wanted to get married today or tomorrow, I probably could. But the thing was, a lot of them, like I said, they couldn't handle that because the way my strength came off, it came off also as nurturing. So they were so used to women coming at them that when I came around a different way, it was like, at first, a lot of them, they would, they couldn't handle it. It was just like, they couldn't believe this is how I was. They thought that I was putting on, like I said, I might have said something that might have triggered, and then they'll come back and say, I'm sorry, this triggered a memory or of something that this person said. And, for me, once you show me who you are, I'm good. I'm good. There's no second chance, none of that stuff. And
so you moved with them, but you couldn't go back to that.
I couldn't do it. For some reason, I just could not allow myself, because I'm that person where I try to give you some chances. You know what I mean? Like the first time, okay, all right, hey. But once you really show me, and then I realize that no, this not working for me, I don't go back and forth, because it's a waste of my time. I already know now that you're not for me. And once I realize that you're not for me, why am I going to waste my time? You know what I'm saying? So they would, once they realized that who I was and my strength and how I presented my strength, and that I wasn't this, fake person that was putting on, that this is just really who I am, then it was too late. Then they want to come back, I messed up, I'm sorry. Like, no, I'm good.
And I want to put out a disclaimer also, because, I don't want people to think that I was just saying it's a Black man or this and that. It's just what I have had to deal with. And I know that it's a maturity thing, because for me, I have also come out of a situation and want to jump into a relationship and have, whereas though a man say something to me and I'm triggered because I'm so sick and tired of going on dates and I want to be with a man. So now he says, and I'm like, oh, here we go again. And I may act a certain way, whereas though, or I presented something to them that triggered them, and because I didn't want to hear what he had to say, now I didn't just dismissed him. So I had to learn to heal.
Yes, that's the key.
So what I learned is, I think that a lot of people aren't
healing,
and,
right?
in our Black community, that the community needs healing. So because a lot of these men come from families that aren't healed, and it was so important for me to have my sons in a marriage and with their dad and blah, 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 but I still came out of that unhealed. I had to heal. So when men say, oh, you're over 35 or you're over 40 and you single, well, I had to heal. Then after healing, I realized where my priorities were. So now I'm focusing on my priorities after falling. So now that after I've fallen, I've healed, and I know where my focus is, I'm ready to be with someone. I could present you something better. I'm looking for that better, and I don't have time to settle for anything less.
That's right.
So
That's
I need a
right.
man that can correct me, because I'm always going into rooms and situations where I'm able to lead, or somebody wants my advice, or I want that from my house. I want to, men think that I'm so strong. Well, I want to take off my cape and be a woman to a man. I want to cook for you. I want to ask you, are you okay? So now I just went and I seen a male friend, and I've been asking them, and I don't even think they know how to take that. The things that I've been asking, I've been saying, let me know, because I'm keeping it 100. Because Mark said communication is key. So Mark, you can maybe jump in after this to all the stuff that we've been saying. I've been telling men that, hey, let me know if I'm not being feminine enough. If I need to be if I need to bring it down a notch, tell me. Because when a man is able to tell me that, I'm going to try to fix it and not come at him again like that, because I know I'm strong. I know I was going through hurt. I know I've paid all my bills. I know that I picked myself up and got out the mud. So my strength is different than a woman that been dating and she been giving herself to a man that open to that. I've been showing up to get what I need and rolling out. So now I need to get back and I don't know if this is the right word, acclimated. I think that's right. Or back adjusted to being a woman that wants a man in her life versus a woman that's saying, if you can't do for me, I don't care. I only came for one thing. I only came to do this. I'm a friend level. We on that level, regardless of what you do, because I'm focused. Now I'm willing to let go of working all the time and doing, okay, I'm going to work every day, but I'm willing to schedule some things. If we're going to go on vacation, I'm willing to set some days aside as long as I got at least 1 or 2 hours, because I run certain things that I just have to do. Mm-hmm. But I'm willing to let a man in my bed for a couple of days versus just one night.
Right. But what you said about that healing is so true. I feel like, and that's why I took a step back, because I did not want from dating, because I did not want because I kept running into jaded men. And what I did not want was to take on, when I meet a good person, to take on that pain that I experienced from those jaded men to that person, because that's not fair to them. You know what I mean?
I want many good relationships and opportunities because of what you said.
Yeah, and I just didn't want to I want to give my best to him the same way I was trying to give my best to the others. So I think, and it's not just men, I think men and women need to heal, because it's like a vicious cycle. We're hurting each other. But I'm gonna ask might be a hot button question for you. So I think I seen a picture of your children. So I think you date Black women. Am I correct?
You talking to me?
Yes,
you can tell who doesn't know Mark love Black women. Look at him.
So okay, I just want to make sure. So Mark,
I thought he was Black.
I love my chocolate.
So Mark, so what have you, as a white male, okay, that dates Black women, how do you? Okay, well,
Caucasian
as a vanilla male, as a Caucasian vanilla male, whatever you want to say, that dates Black women, how do you come across? I mean, like, how can I put this? Do you feel like that Black women may respond to you differently? Do you feel like they respond to you differently than what they have to Black women? Because I know you have Black male friends. So do you feel like they respond to you differently, or do you feel like we give you, because we're being told all the time we got a mouth. So what is your take on that?
First,
come on.
whatever y'all, however y'all want to take it, whatever y'all want to call me, first and foremost, black and white is not a color, it's a shade. Black and white is not a race or a shade or a color. It's a shade. Green, blue, black, green, blue, gray, orange, yellow. Those are colors. Women of color have looked at me, have had attractions to me because of my eyes, my smile, my complexion. Well, I'm kind of like a fat dude right now again. Kids will do that to you. If you're not careful and you're not watching what you eat and exercising, kids will put weight on you.
They will.
I'm gonna give you a little bit of a history. I reconnected with an ex of mine from 23 years ago. And when me and this woman were dating, she had twin daughters. I'm not the type of person to name drop, so I'm not gonna throw their names out there. I would love to. But over the course of the years, over the last 23 years, we've connected 2, 3, maybe 4 times. When we were reconnected over the summer, she said, now that I found you and we've connected, do you want to stay in contact or you want to keep everything the way it's been? And I said, I've never wanted to keep everything the way it's been. That's just how life has taken it. But I've always asked that one question, and she'll tell you. Like, she could call me right now, text me. I'll be like, what's up? How are you? How are my babies? My step twin daughters are 31 years old. My son will be 21 December. When she wasn't around and the girls were home, the girls were my responsibility. I treated them like mine to an extent. I was young, didn't know how to be a father, did try to be the best stepfather I could. Wherever I went, they went. If mommy was at work and I had to take them to school, I took them to school. If I had to pick them up, I picked them up. There wasn't no walking home. There wasn't no walking to school. And I didn't mind doing it. If I had to go run some errands, they went. If I had to go across the state, DC, Montgomery County, Anne Arundel County, wherever I went, that's where they went. I don't know how they feel about me, but I've always missed them like they were mine. I didn't know what it was to be a parent until I had my actual own child. And my life completely changed because I couldn't be selfish no more. If I ever was selfish.
Is your son by a black or a white woman?
Huh?
Is your son by a black or a white woman?
I give you one guess and one guess only.
We already know. A woman of color.
I give you a hint. It ain't by one of them whatchamacallits.
A woman of color.
Okay, so
you got to answer the question.
You got to answer the question. Like, do you see black women from your? Okay, first of all, have you dated women of your own race?
No.
Really?
I mean,
never?
I mean, middle school, high school, yeah. As an adult, no.
Not one time.
No.
I'm sorry. Wow. Okay.
Okay. Well, listen. So do you have friends? Okay. So do you have black
friends?
I'm trying to see how we can get this answer out of him. Okay.
I know, right? Because he's trying to skirt around it. Just answer the question, Mark.
So do you see black women responding to you and talking to you differently than they talk to black men?
I don't know, because first and foremost, as a man, I'm not going to talk to you by the color of your skin. And hopefully, as a grown woman, I wouldn't want you to talk to me any different than you talk to any other man. I come as you as a man. I would want you to come to me as a woman. I could care less about race.
So you don't notice any difference, and you probably wouldn't because you're in our community. You're used to dealing with us. You don't.
Can I see a difference in a type of woman? Yeah, just like a woman can see a difference in a type of man. And there's many types. Either you're about your business or you're a waste of time. Either you're a grown man or you're still a little boy. It trips me out how women, no offense, get on social media and throw all their business out there on how a man ain't, let's slip for a minute. Our man ain't shit. But yet at the same time, you got just as many women out here that ain't shit when it comes to kids.
So that's why I do both with the men. The men chew me up. Y'all hate when I bring it up, but I get on the women and the men. But what I think
I love that.
So
because
for me,
it's a 50-50.
You know what I'm saying? So for me, so like you can date a black woman in front of your black male friends and it's nothing. Different. And I think because the reason we ask questions is because we see differences in the treatments. But like for me, although I can be hood, business, whatever, at the end of the day, I'm a black woman and I'm a darker black woman. I'm not light skinned. So when I'm open to dating all men, like I said, I've dated white men, and actually the white men have treated me and been more concerned about me more than my black men. I'm just saying, man, somebody step to the plate if you're gonna do better. My ex-husband did good while he was married till we got into our thing. But what I'm saying is this: I'm in a community and I'm working and I'm dating black men that aren't giving me the things that I want. They aren't mentally ready for me. They aren't spiritually ready. But if I go date outside my race, they gonna jump in my business. Now they saying I ain't give them a chance. Now they saying I done sold out, or I ain't this and that. When at the end of the day, should black women not be open and able to date who they want to date and be the woman that they want to be? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I saw an article somewhere that said out of the races, and I know you, Mark, you said there's no race, but I want to just, for the purposes of this conversation, out of the races, black women were least likely to date outside their race than any other race. Like they're least likely, like we will stick with a black, many of us will stick with a black man, right? But the person that is most likely to date outside their race was black men, and that's sad. It's like,
let me tell you, I ain't gonna say no names, but I've had at least within this year 5 black men tell me that they're done dating black women, and that's not their first or second preference of women to date. The rappers call the women foreign that they want, and we started bringing that up. So we're like on the and when I hear this, it hurts. But when I look around at my options and I look around at some of the men that are growing options, we have a lot of mental issues going on now. That's why I like your banner. I'm in a mental.
Yes, because I'm a mental health. That's why I said I agree with what you said. There's so much healing that needs to take place in our community, not just from women or not just specifically men. We need to be healed all the way around. There's trauma, generational trauma, starting from when we were kidnapped and brought over here. That trauma has been it's in our DNA. You know what I mean? It's in our DNA, and we really need a lot of healing because we are going at each other's throat, and we're not showing. I don't know any other race that goes against each other's throat, male and female go against each other like that, and like our community. I don't see it like that. Like
I don't know one either. We were the blueprint of some of the other family things that other cultures are doing. And so for me, I'm in my community because growing up, I was around all races. So You know, my white friends can post, and they have posted pictures on Facebook of us at parties and doing stuff, and we all together. We had an understanding that maybe one of us parents or grandparents weren't into Black people, but that weren't who we were. And even to this day, I have that understanding that people can pick to be who they want to be. But for me, because I'm Black and I have Black sons, I'm in the Black community trying to help my Black people get better. So as soon as they see me dating, even, and I'm not going to say who in my family, but I dated a guy that he looked at almost white. If you seen him, you would probably say white. So I sent a picture. The first thing some people said was, "Is he white?" And I was like, "Well, no, he's not white." But I mean, damn, if he is, you know. But I mean, so for me, I know that because of what I do in the community and certain things, a lot of people will dismiss me or say I'm less than if I date outside my Black man. But let me tell you one thing about this Black woman right here. I'm in a community. I have a grandfather that was white. So a great grandfather that was white. White runs through my bloodline. Spanish, Indian, other things. I'm open. I am a woman of God and I'm a woman of the earth. Whatever color we got on this earth is what I'm working with to get things to make it happen. Success does not see a color, because guess what? Even if a man with money don't like a certain man who they got money and they need to get a business done, they're going to get that business done and they go home. It's about making the dollar, growing your business, and doing what you got to do. Small-minded people are on small things.
Yeah.
Say that one more time for the dumbasses in the back.
Right. Yes. Yes.
I'm beyond that.
Right.
So said it, small-minded people are on small things. I'll put it in another way.
Thank
so,
you.
but I'm on success on a big level. And as I watch successful people, they're not worried about race. They're worried about changing humanity.
Mm-hmm.
So as for me, it's about humanity. And right now, my Black people are dying at large numbers. Our communities are sick from mental health issues. We have people who are doing things to seniors and babies that has never been done. Those were the people that we protected.
Right.
As I'm looking at the death and the rates of the mental health issues going up, I'm looking at the homeless rates going up. For me, those are my focus. And if it's happening in certain communities around me, then those are the communities I'm focusing on. If I move to Arizona and there's a Spanish, white, or Indian community next to me where they're getting treated less than humane, I'm going to work with those people to make sure they get treated right. So that's all I need people to understand about me. So if I'm at this point in my life, I'm going to date who I want to date. I'm going to be around who I want to be around, and I'm going to speak my truth. If you don't like it, that's okay. I've been down to the bottom. You can't take me there, and you can't give me what I got right now. So because you can't give me that, there's nothing that I care about other than you helping me to be more peaceful, more happy, and more successful. Because success for me isn't material, it isn't friendship, and it isn't anything outside of love. Love is going to get me up there, not what anything else is about. So that's why I say for me, I think a lot different. I move a lot different. I might have somebody that's cool with me for 3 years, 10 years. You do me wrong, I'm gonna cut your ass off. And you said we would have one slip. That was mine.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
At the end of the day, black, white, green, blue, yellow, orange, brown. You cut all us open and take this shell off. What you got?
Red.
You got
red,
a bloody.
But not even red. You got the purple blackness in there. Brown blood till it come out. It's gonna be red.
You got a bloody ass mess from anyone and everyone. We're all equal. We all just have a different shell. Like, I love what you're saying. I love what you're saying. And the crazy thing is, only black folks will say, you can't listen to it. You got to hear the message. Don't know other culture out here say that about anything, especially when it comes to music. Can we get back to the 80s and the 90s with the messages that these artists were saying to their peers that listen to their music? For example, we all see this every day. The black man is being hunted by another black man. Who Modi said what in the 80s, early 90s? I never had to run from the Ku Klux Klan. I should never have to run from a black man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, music nowadays, I don't know about y'all,
I
but
hate
think
it.
it's trash.
I do not like the music these days.
Absolutely no
It's
thought
trash.
process. And I'm not saying every artist has bad music, and I'm not saying every artist has nothing but trashy music. But 90% of the stuff you hear on the radio, it's like, are you serious?
And
Like,
the
I've
sad,
started listening to the radio. I've started listening to YouTube.
the sad part about it is that I feel like, you know, we're allowing our children to hear this. And I don't think that people really understand how serious it is when you constantly expose your spirit, your inner man. You constantly expose yourself to this type of, you know, to music that's constantly degrading both men and women, because you got one female rappers doing the same thing, not just cursing out and being disrespectful to each other, but also to men as well. So it's just like we're allowing our children to hear this. You know what I'm saying? I don't know too many other cultures that's going to sit there and let their children at a young age blast that music so that their children can hear somebody else calling another woman a B, or calling another man, you know, the N-word or whatever. So it's just like we're allowing our children to hear this. And then when they get to me as the teacher, you know, people are wondering why, you know, when I'm calling them, you know, why, telling them about their child's behavior, it's because you expose them to that behavior.
I need you on my Monday night. I need you on my Monday night show to talk about being a teacher and talk about that. Because that you're right. You know, they want the teachers to be parents. But I also think that so through my falling, so I'm in mass media. Mass media controls everything. You know, if you look on the back end of things, Disney runs a lot of bad stuff. They have a lot of productions out that are nasty, hateful. Even some of the cartoons you watch. So I think that because social media, cell phones, and like even with Zoom, it's always an endless amount of ways to connect and be plugged into some type of electricity, transferring vibration.
And messages and stuff. Mm-hmm.
Messages. Everybody's looking for something that, until we're able to control our media and the things that's being put out by the masses, we can't. But then I also, playing devil's advocate, I mean, if we look back, the skinny jeans and the half shirts the men wore back then, it's just the verbiage and the hate is growing. We don't have enough people that's caring, because there's really nothing new under the sun. So when you look at it, there was a time where we started cutting up that our grandparents was like telling us, this world coming to an end. Look at what y'all doing now. Y'all doing this. Now we telling our kids, this world coming to an end. Y'all doing this. But it's like, as things grow beyond what we know and what we're able to control and know of, it's like it's world coming to an end. But there's about to be a robot that's going to come to control certain things. There's about to be another thing that's going to come to control things in another way. So I think it's just getting more leaders out here, more people that can put out things to go against the masses, because if, you know, it's like, it's so much, you know, to just, it's like we want to talk about one thing, but one thing always leads to so many greater things. And it's all in how we look at it to be able to perceive it the way it should go, what path you're going to get on, what lane you're going to go, you know, you're going to take it, what perspective you're going to get from it. Because we can be here on this conversation having a good time, and one person would take one word that we said and one thing and say, this show wasn't nothing. We were all evil people. Mark is a racist. You know, like we able to talk about things. Oh, they love him more than us. You know, we don't like black men. It's just,
that somebody will take something take a little piece of and not get the message. So I wanted to ask Mark, this question was in my head. You have a son, right?
Yeah.
With all that was going on in the beginning of the pandemic, and we were seeing a lot of Black men, and having run-ins with losing their life to police officers. What concerns do you have as a father of your child? Because at the end of the day, society looks at him as a Black male. They're not going to look, oh, you got a white dad, none of that stuff. And they're not going to see. And I think sometimes a lot of people from the, because I've talked to people from different races, and I find that a lot of people that are not of color, they who really in their mind don't see color, they don't understand that for us we see it, for us we got to experience. So you as a father of a Black child, like how did that make you feel? Or do you ever get nervous? Like for me, my son works at night, go to work at night, go to school during the day. I'm terrified for my son every time he leaves. Like I stay prayed up because I'm like, first of all, we're in the South.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm terrified for him to get pulled over. I gotta have all this conversation with him about this. What you got to do when you this and the other happen. Like, have you had to have conversations? And if so, how does that feel as a white male that you don't deal with that, but your son has to?
Well, I'll go further than that. Going back to my stepdaughters. Every time they walk out that door, I was scared. Because at the end of the day, they're Black. As a Black man, woman, or child, you're a target when it comes to certain people and certain law enforcement. Having a child of my own, my feelings didn't change, but they did because that was actually my blood. So, I still talk to him. I still worry. You work today? Yep. Be careful. What are your plans this weekend? I'm not being nosy. If you ever wanted me to be your friend, now I'm your friend. But I'll never be your buddy friend because I will always be your father. I will always worry about you. Every time you walk out that door, I'm gonna worry about you until I hear from you. I come from a family that this has discouraged a lot of women that I've dated because they've never had to check in or communicate with movement. Like if I leave you, all right, I'll see you tomorrow. Hit me up what time we linking up, this, that. No, I'll hit you when I get home, so I'm good. When I leave the house in the morning, I'll hit you, let you know I'm on my way. Hey, I'm getting ready to pull up. If you're not ready and you want me to come in, I can. If not, I'm getting ready to pull up. Meet me outside. Now, I don't drive, but I can drive. I choose not to drive for personal reasons. We're not going to get into that because that's a whole different story. So I do a lot of public transportation, a lot of Lyfts, a lot of Ubers. So I'm communicating with you because we all know you can't just order a ride and it's there in a couple minutes. It might be 2 minutes. It might be 20, 25 minutes. So I'm texting you, consistently texting you. Now, when I lived out in the county, hey, Lyft will be here in about 15 minutes. Just got in the Lyft, I'm leaving my house. Hey, just got downtown, I should be at your place in 10 minutes. Just hit me when you hear. You don't need to keep communicating with me. If that's not what you want me to do, fine. I can cut back, but I'm not going to stop because that's just not me. Now, if you don't want to do it, that's on you. I ain't got nothing to do about that. But back to your question, kids, they don't understand. So they're going to ask 50 million questions. Why? But why, Daddy? Why? But why, Mommy? Why? You know what I mean? Kids don't really start to understand life until they're about 10, 12, 13 years old, because they're starting to see things for what it is. They're starting to hear different things. They're starting to pay attention more. So I've noticed with my son being an adult, he calls me more than I call him, just to say, hey, just to check on me. Hey, I haven't heard from you in a couple of days. I just wanted to call and see what's going on with you. Well, you just made my day, homeboy. I appreciate that. But I still tell him, he's getting ready to turn 21. He's the biggest introvert I think I know on this planet, and he always has been. In his childhood, his teenage years, he was easily influenced. No one can explain why a child or a teenager is easily influenced. It's the unfortunate bad crowd that you choose to hang out with.
Right. It's like they just it's like they're drawn to it. But I thought I saw something come up about a commercial break.
And we can do a commercial break. Let's go. Let's pay these
and I was
bills.
just saying, I'm telling you, because you the host. So I just saw that I saw it come up. So I said I wanted to let you know.
Commercial break it is. Let's pay these bills.
Ready, set, hit!
You're the only person I ever met who belonged in the sky. Just remember you belong down here with us too, okay?
The commanding officer called you one of the best pilots he's ever seen. It must be hard being the naval aviator. Absolutely. The whole world's looking different.
Did you ever think that you'd be in a squadron with a colored aviator?
Lieutenant Tom Hudner. Jesse Brown. It's good to meet you.
We're taking a slight detour on the way home. Say again?
What are you going to find out about your wingman cruising at 10,000 feet, Lieutenant? Put him in a little bit of trouble. Who knows? We might get a peek at who he really is.
North Koreans came pouring over the 38th parallel.
Our guys need help, and we're up.
We knew this day might come.
Yeah, it doesn't make it any easier.
The most important thing is this. We bring everyone home.
Mistakes get us killed.
Can't tell you how many times people have told me to give up, quit, die even. That's why you can't always do what you're told.
It's a mag!
If I did, I wouldn't be here.
What do you want me to do?
Just be my wingman.
Red sign, Jesse!
The real battle in all of life is being someone that people can count on. Show off.
That was pretty good. It's good.
Are we back?
I believe we're back.
Okay.
Welcome back to the Skylyne Radio Talk Show.
let me
all up in
unmute.
it.
Let me unmute.
We all up in it. And we're gonna jump back in it real quick where we left off, pay them bills. And then were some good promos that we had to pay for.
What
So
I
we
could
were talking
say
about,
is that is a good thing about Zoom. Y'all threw that in. I like that part.
we were talking about children and the happenings of life in society because of the color of their skin. You know, this all didn't start with Trayvon Martin. May his soul continue to rest in peace. And my thoughts and prayers are still with that family. But it was something about that situation that ignited media. It's like, okay, enough is enough. We're going to start doing whatever we got to do to get to the bottom of what has really been going on for so long in this country and probably all over the world. But it's glorified in this country and no one's ever put their foot down. And lo and behold, there was something, multiple somethings going on all over this country. Baltimore, DC, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Chicago, Minneapolis, Denver, all over the country. And we saw it time and time and time again. At the end of the day, I don't care. I don't care that you had a criminal record. I don't give a damn if you white, black, green, blue, yellow, and you had a criminal record. The fact remains a police officer that took the oath to have that gun and a badge to protect just took your life for nothing. And he ain't got an answer for it? Nah. That's a problem. And I feel this way, and I act this way, and I talk this way with attitude and bass in my voice because I have a child. Do something to mine if you want to. Okay. I'll go to jail for the right reason.
I know that's right.
Don't play with my child. That goes for my twin daughters, and they're not even mine. Do something and their mom call me. Don't play with mine.
Right. So I have another question.
And the way I act and talk, that's any real man or woman as a parent.
Right.
I don't care if you're law enforcement. I don't care if you're a school teacher. Raising a black boy in the school system. I told my son from day one, teacher ever calls you boy, go to the office. I don't care if they give you a pass. I don't care if they give you permission. Walk out that class respectfully, and keep your mouth shut. Can I go to the office? For what? I need to take care of a personal issue.
Right.
I go to the office. They say no, gather your belongings respectfully with no attitude and keep your mouth shut and excuse yourself from that classroom and go to the office and demand them to call me. When he was first or second grade, I got him a cell phone. Don't tell nobody because it ain't nobody's business. You have one phone number, mine. Don't you ever allow anybody, especially an adult, call you boy. When he was old enough to ask why, I told him why.
Right.
Once upon a time, there were evil people called slave owners. And what did they call them, the black man? Boy. Boy is a white racist word. I don't know how many times over the years I've had to correct women of the opposite color. Don't call me boy. That's disrespectful and it's a white racist word. No, it's not. It's just a word. You know what? Every damn ignorant, disgusting, racial word on this planet is just a word, but it's still ignorant and racist. Cracker is a racist word. Honky is a racist word. Do I play and use those words? Yeah, because I'm ignorant. And I say that because can't call me racist. I'm talking about my own people. But I'm no different, and I'm no better than, let's go there, ladies, than a black woman calling another black woman, "What up, bitch? What up?"
No, I don't do that. Not me.
You know
I personally don't do that.
It's no different than a black man saying to another black man, "What up?" and "What up?" and I told my son when he was old enough to talk, I don't ever want to hear no N words come out your mouth unless it's now or new or I know. All that slang, boy, I will bust you in your mouth. To this day, he still, I don't know if he uses it or not, but he don't use it around me.
Same
Boy,
with
you
mine.
grown now. You grown now. I'll knock your mouth off your face because you weren't raised like that way. He don't say the B word because I don't say the B word. I got a mom, I got a sister, I got stepdaughters. That's just not how I get down. I'm not from here, so I walk different and I talk different. And I wasn't raised that way. Look, when we kids, we write certain songs down. That's how we learn fast.
Right.
I did that with an Eazy-E song. My dad found it, boy, 15 years old. I thought I was going to get the biggest whooping in my life. I think that's the longest I was ever punished and could not come out my room. And it was summertime. Oh, that summertime was miserable. I was supposed to go back home to the Chi too. Guess what? I didn't go home.
So, Shedonna, I got a quick question for you. Speaking on what a lot of what Mark was talking about, some of the issues that he was sharing, are these some of the topics that, as a community activist, do you find yourself having to address those topics a lot, or how does your LLC address those?
Lately, I've been calling my Monday night show on Instagram at 8:00 a town hall meeting, because what I realize is that Black people don't go out to the meetings, but by the time the people moving and demolishing the community, they're like, what's going on?
What's going on? Right.
So when 10 years ago, they were doing the blueprint and they had the meetings, they had the time for you to stop it. So I use the show for that. And I do talk about those issues. I talk about things such as, I have one coming up on not this Monday, but the next Monday, where we're talking about stop putting your kids out at 18 years old. Because a lot of times, right. So a lot of times people like, well, he grown and this and that. But one thing I want to tackle on that is women are, especially with their sons, they're like, you got to get out because you're a man, but yet you're taking care of this man who isn't doing much. So for me, another reason I'm single, because I like to use this thing, because people say my broke friend, and I always say my forever men, because there's no way with two sons I'm going to go get an efficiency or one bedroom or anything like that and just be like, oh, my boys better do what they want. I know that they might get married or they might be in a relationship living with a woman, but when a man leaves a woman, the first thing he's going back to is his mother. So although I can have a man and he will be the king of the home, but he has to understand, like I will with his kids, is that I'm a mother of Black boys especially, and they might need a place to come back to. And they're going to come to our place if we're going to live together or mine. So, I just look at, so as I'm talking about those things, I did a show about ladies stop taking these men to for child support. And I started out with a black guy that was talking about his situation, and he had several black baby mothers. Then I brought on a white guy with the show. He's the original person who told me to talk about it because he was saying, you know, he's in court for it. So that's why it was stop taking these men for child support. But we also targeted the fact that a woman will get mad at a man because he's with a new woman, and you go and you take them to child support. Well, when you take these men to child support and they already got a gun charge or they got any other charge, well, now they're using this as a case now to get them locked up for not paying for something. Prison for me is another form of enslavement. So yeah, I definitely talk about those issues, but then I backhand them and talk about things as such as, because it's me. I talk about things like, well, if sex is so bad, why did God create it? You know, because I target religion, because like I said, I'm Catholic, I was Jehovah's Witness and Christian. I'm not a religion anymore. I'm a human being. So with a spirit, and that's what led my ancestors out of out of slavery, because they were able to hear a voice. That's what got me from doing the things I was doing. I heard a voice and took a leap of faith. I grew up in church. None of them got me out of doing, but I got worse as the years went on. You know, I went from being a child to growing into a drug addict. So, I mean, you know, I was popping pills and doing other stuff. So I had to hear a voice from the spirit, which changed me and led my heart. So I told, yeah, I'm targeting. I'm talking about anything. Mark knows I'm on them. Like I'm spitting things that people will inbox me what they can't say or don't want to post because they don't know how people take it. I'm like, let's go.
Right.
You know, we say I try to post every other day or twice a week. Stop using your title. I think my thing was today, help somebody instead of becoming a metal wall. And I always my thing is I'm trying to tell Black people is when you go in a social service building, you go in an employment building, you go in anything where they have money to give from the government, they put us in control of one another and they give you a title. So now you in there, you telling this other Black person that they can't have this or they can't have that because you feel like you have the control against it, which brings up the crabs in the barrel or the holding one another down. Lift each other up. We already in the back. So if you got a position where you can help this person out, stop getting mad and saying, well, I ain't gonna help you because of this. They using you for that. Tap into helping one another because other races are growing. We talk about the Spanish people living in a house together and the Chinese, where they have a law. They cannot move out until they marry. And the Chinese people law go even worse, go even deeper, not worse, deeper, better, because they have to help the elders get a place before they go out. So the younger people move in, put up money in a pot till the seniors move out and get a home. After they get a home, then the next person in line, you help them build up and get a home. Whereas with us, I got a 5-bedroom home by myself.
Right.
Why?
Right.
So you can show off. Then when you fall, you looking at somebody to help bring you up when you didn't help nobody. So yeah, I'm in the community. I'm targeting. I'm on it. That's why I said if I marry outside my race, now they're gonna be like, well, why you do that? Well, listen, I'm doing what I want to do.
At the end of the day, you can't tell your heart who you're gonna fall in love with.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Who you
I
catch
can't barely
feelings
tell my
for.
body what to do sometimes, or my mind.
Look, we're not gonna go there. PG show.
I'm just saying.
Look, there's been bare minimum, a handful of women that I've grown interested in over the years. Look, I'm not no spring chicken. I'll be 50 years old next year. Yeah, I said it.
All
5
right.
old, y'all. June 13th, I will be 50. Half a century. I'm old and I got feelings. So watch your mouth because I might bark at you. Like y'all asked me with women of color. My late teens, early mid 20s. My preference was the Monica, Aaliyah,
You didn't like Adina Howard?
Adina Howard, Trina.
Who went over
that light skin, that caramel complexion. That was my preference. My 30s, I moved into like the Hershey brown complexion. I still love a light-skinned woman. And can I really say I got a preference? No. As long as you're chocolate, I don't give a damn. I love chocolate. I'm sorry. You got Kit Kat, Milky Way, Three Musketeers, Snickers, Hershey with almonds, M&Ms. Chocolate comes in different forms. I thought I would never be with a woman that some men would say they're blurple. I've been with 2 or 3. A woman is a woman at the end of the day. A real man is going to love a woman for who they are. A real woman is going to love a man for who he is. If you choose to be with that man or that woman, truth, facts, trials, tribulations. Ain't that what a marriage is? For good, bad, all that. That's what a relationship starts with. Yeah, you don't
Have
know
you
each
ever
other.
dated outside your race?
You're dating. You're getting to know each other. Eventually, if you choose to go that route, then you form a unity. And you're still growing. You're still getting to know each other. You're still learning the goods, the bads, the ins and outs. But you're learning, and now you're building on your relationship, possibly building towards your future. You know what I'm saying? So criticism. Criticize me if I'm doing something wrong. Correct it. Help me correct it. Help me help you. You know what I'm saying? That goes both ways.
So
people tell me, especially women, you're gonna make a damn good husband one day if you ever get married because of the individual you are. For what I do for strangers, for the homeless, the way I cook. I love cooking. Get out my kitchen. If you ain't helping, get out my kitchen. Give me some music. I'm the same thing with cleaning.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, that's the way to this woman's heart. Some food,
Some food.
good conversation, baby. I know they say laughter is the way into a woman's, you know what, but cooking and good communication, that's my weakness, cooking. And you know what, honestly, on the low, and I'm glad I ain't on Facebook no more, because some people could figure this person out.
You had asked me something earlier. Don't forget what you.
I'm gonna come back to it. I have a white friend, and you know what? I'm not gonna say who he looked like, because then people would say they know what friend this is. But he's tall, and when I say he cooks better than a restaurant, oh my God, he cooks so good. And I would come over, and he's a white guy. He loves it. And I'm saying he loves to take care of me because of what I do in the community and how busy I am. And he's a businessman, got his own stuff going on. But when I would come over, I'm talking about the lobster, whatever I wanted, he would cook. If we were outside, he would barbecue and cut the music on. We have a good time. We talked about
Sit your ass down, baby. I got this.
No, but what I'm saying,
when I'm done and you done eating, if you want me rub your feet, I'll rub your feet.
No, he would do all that. So what I'm saying is, like, when I would come over, he was like a bartender. He had all the liquor. He loved to drink, so I keep him company with drinking. But we would dance. He would cut the music on. We would dance. We would have a good time. So my problem that I have was no, let me try to get in your drawers. If anything like that was happening, it's like a flow. Whereas my problem that sometimes some of my Black men that I date would expect is if I do anything for you, what am I getting in return? So for me, I'm open to anyone. I had to learn because I had a bad boy type thing. I like bad boys. Bad boys aren't for me. That's not for me. Mental is for me. So I want to go back into my question before, because time is ticking. Latesha, have you ever dated outside your race? And outside your race is not just white, that's Spanish, Indian, anything that's not Black.
I went on 2 dates, 2 different dates with 2 different white guys, and it didn't go past that. And the reason being because I didn't like the stares.
What do you mean?
It wasn't coming. Yes. I remember one time it was this Jewish guy, and he loved Black women. His bonus children were Black. And he still, like Mark, he still, kept his bonus children. They were his kids. And so so we went out to this restaurant. He took me to this one restaurant, and he was so sweet. He really was. He took me to this restaurant.
The Jewish guy?
Say it again.
Jewish guy.
Jewish guy. This was in 2019.
Okay.
And I went to this restaurant with him, and he was a really great guy. We were cool. Everything was a really great guy, but I allowed the stare, and it came from Black women.
Okay. I mean,
Black women were like it was at the restaurant, and I don't know. I just couldn't get. It was me. It wasn't him. I couldn't get over that. Like, it was just hard. My sister now, her second child. My sister has 4 kids. Her second child, the father of her second child is Hispanic and Filipino. And so, but I like I said, I haven't really been serious past 2 days.
Okay. So was he touching on you or something that made them stare?
No,
because y'all were walking together.
We had the great conversation.
No, not that. But I'm saying the people that were staring, did they know y'all were together? Were they staring while y'all were eating too?
Yes.
Oh, so they
kept looking. Literally, you could they kept looking over at us. While we were, because I was he kept making me laugh, and so they kept looking.
Was this Atlanta? Was this in Atlanta?
No, this was in Boston. I didn't move down here until 2020, so this was in 2019.
So and he was in the restaurant mostly Black people?
No, this was in Pikes. I think it was Pikesville.
So it was a mix of people, and they were staring even at the table.
Yeah. They were staring at me.
And you're going to, I would say you're going to, because the Black men are going to stare. And if you went to a place that were mostly Jewish, white, whatever, they're going to stare. And that's only because it's ignorance. I think it's because when you go to certain parts of Virginia, that's all you see is because the military type stuff, they're mixed. So what about the second guy? Why he didn't make it?
He was short. I'm sorry, I'm 5'7".
Okay, so he was shorter than you?
He was short, and then it was just, I just could not, I'm gonna be honest, I just couldn't bring myself to do it. It was just, I just couldn't do it. I was trying to.
I'm biased.
It was it's like that statement said, the Black woman is least likely to date outside her race than any other race. So it's just for me, that's what I prefer. I tried. I really did try. And I think I would try again. I was on a dating app, and I was on a couple of them, okay? And every time I get on a dating app, I would get a whole bunch of white men reach out to me. But this is the thing. They didn't look like Mark. They looked like Tom Brady types. And it was scary. No, they were scary because I would think, y'all think it's funny, but I'm not gonna laugh.
Like a light-skinned Black man.
Right, you do, Mark. But no, let me tell you, don't laugh at this.
A light-skinned Black man.
A light-skinned Black. At first, when I first met you, Mark, it was your eyes that gave it away. But listen, don't laugh at this, y'all. So what I was always scared of was that these guys, because I would look at their pictures, and they would be having pictures of them doing acts, the typical stuff that we normally wouldn't do, like axe throwing and all this other stuff. And I was just you know, like just like what most Black people would label as white activities, right? And I didn't see anybody Black in their pictures. I didn't see that they had Black children. So in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, they just trying to come at me because they want to experiment. So that's that was one of the reasons why I couldn't date white men, because it was like in the back of my mind, I'm always scared that they're using me to experiment, because these would look like white guys that would not, like, it just did not seem like they look like their name would be Bob. Like,
but you know what? Bob is the one that really wants. He wants to step outside of the box that his family has him in, and he wants a Black boy. So let me tell you. So if I go down south, or even here, a lot of Black. So if I went somewhere where it's mixed races, the white men would come at me, or the Indian or other men would come at me more than Black men, because I don't have the booty and all. I'm like 120. I'm okay. 119 to 125, and I'm like 5'2". So even on dating apps, the white men will come at me more, because I always say a Black man, I don't have enough booty or something.
They want all this extra curve.
They want all this extra stuff. So I was in a club not too long ago at a friend's birthday party. And when the Black guy grabbed me, the first thing he said is, "Oh, you my type. I don't mind. I like them petite." So I was thinking, is he thinking he complimenting me, or is he
exactly right?
And he was like, "Don't worry, I like them petite," and I'm like, "Why you had to even say that? Why you just can't like me?"
You like, right? Exactly.
Right. So for me, even when white men will go after a Black woman, they will go after more the petite size. So if I'm at a party, I would get, if they're there, they would come at me more than my Black men, because I ride horses. I'm a hell of a fist pumper. I like all kinds of music. Like I said, my friends are Black and white. I mean, I do a lot of things that my Black men would say, "Oh, look at you, you Black white," or you like, they come at me with that type of stuff. Like, I thought you was ghetto, but to the other races, I can fit in as totally Black. Like, "Oh yeah, she full blown hood Black," but to Black people, it's like, go sit your little ass down. You ain't doing. Oh, sorry, Mark, I slipped again.
But wait, Shedonna, check this out though. So the first guy, right? You're gonna be mad at me with this one though. He was an FBI agent. And I just couldn't do it, because I was all kinds of now. To my defense, also, I was going through I had just got separated, had moved out, and was on my own. But it was just, yeah. I mean, the white guys that I met, those
are sneakiest ones. The police, the FBI, all of them, and I'm just gonna leave it at that.
But see, now I was scared. Y'all gonna laugh at me? Please don't laugh at me. All the reasons. These are the reasons that was in my head at the time. I was like in my 30s. Because he was an FBI agent, things were coming in my mind like, Mark, don't get offended. But I was just like, white men kill their wives.
I thought it.
Like, I don't want to be the one. I don't want to be that person he get upset with and kill, because you see it all on Lifetime. How the white
They do. They kill. Mark, they all do. Y'all go for strictly.
Look, you gotta watch out for them honky ass crackers, man. That gets you.
Yeah, they get on that daggone, and the Black dude, he gonna try to burn you up and use you, or he gonna, what I'm saying, if he mentally gun, he gonna shoot you with a gun, but more than likely he just gonna cheat on you and leave your ass with 10 kids.
I dated a girl. I dated a woman, and her family brought that up. Look, find out where he lives, find out everything you need to know, because I need to know, because if something ever happens to you. And I was like, really? Your family watches too much Lifetime. But in today's age, you can't be but so careful. You know what I'm saying? Like you're sitting here saying about all the eyeballs, Latesha. My first fiance in my early 20s, I didn't know how to deal with it because it was ignorant. Like I've never been, until Maryland, I've never been in any type of one-sided situation because my dad was military. So I mean, I've lived in I've been back and forth to Chicago all throughout his military career. We lived in England, Iceland, Florida, Maine, Hawaii. I think that's it. So I mean, I've experienced so many different type of cultures, not just because of living on a military base, but actually living on like Hawaii. Yeah, that's our land, or that's our property, but that's not American per se. That's not American soil. That's Samoan soil. That's Samoan land. The Samoans own Hawaii. You know what I'm saying? Iceland, like, you know, I'm a boy. What boy don't like climbing trees? There ain't no trees to climb. What you mean there ain't no trees to climb? How we breathe if there ain't no oxygen? You know what I mean? Learning the Icelandic culture was, man, I was constantly scratching my head. Living in England, mommy, these people over here talk funny.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you can't say stuff like that because it's ignorant. Well, you know, you're a child. You don't know no better. But, you know, they talk different. They dress funny. They still do, but that's their culture. And that's like these foreign countries look at us like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like y'all said something about dress. In the 90s, we wore, can y'all see that? That's about 2 inches. That's how far off our hips we wore our pants. Pants, jeans, khakis, sweats. Unless you had dress clothes on, you wore your pants of whatever it was that you had on, inch or two off your hips. I had a woman at a job. I worked at Pace Membership Warehouse in Laurel, Maryland, off Cherry Lane and Route 1. Mark, I think you fine as hell. You can take me out anytime you want to, baby. Pull your pants up and put a belt on. I was 18. I'll be 50 next year. Guess what I got on? A belt. Guess where my pants are? Where they belong. Since then, guess what kind of woman it was?
What?
I'll give you one guess.
Your mother.
Nope.
A woman of color.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I still remember her name.
That sounds like something the mother would tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my mom used to tell me all the time. My dad used to tell me all the time, put your damn pants up, put a belt on. Didn't listen. But I wanted to take her out that bad that I was willing to listen to her and give her that. And I've been that way ever since.
I'm going to surprise y'all. The next white guy asks me out, I'm gonna go on 2 dates.
Hey, Latesha, when you coming in?
I'm coming. You know, my grandmother, I forgot to tell you, my grandmother is having a street named after her on the 19th because of her community work.
That's
maybe we all can go out and have a bite when you come, but make sure you not only give them 2 days, but you give them people that's looking one finger 2 times.
Hey, look. I'm getting my first date before anybody.
I can't.
I'm telling you, give them one finger.
I'm throwing my head in.
That was just my immaturity. My immaturity at the time. I was just, I don't know. It just felt weird, you know.
Let me tell you, one time I had this guy. I was sitting at the casino because we ain't on live no more, and I was drinking. I had just took my mother up there. White guy with red hair. He was tall too. He was going past. He was saying, "Hey, beautiful." He flipped me a chip. and it was like $100 chip. He was like, go in and get you some more drinks or gamble. But his buddy came up. They were in from town corporation doing some stuff. So his buddy came over. We were talking. We had such a good time. We kicked it off. Got his number. Every time he came into town, he came to see me. Then I think his girlfriend found out, which was a white woman. So I texted him because I ain't here. I was like, what's going on? Why you? He was like, my girlfriend found out, she got mad. He said, you know, she was extra mad because you was black. And I was like, oh yeah. So he was like, but I'm gonna come up and see you one more time, blah, blah. But he was so cool. And I think that all the time while I'm get along with the guys, the white guys that I date, first of all, is that they got to be able to be realistic about life. You're white and I'm black. We know what this world is all about. We like one another and we get along, but we know they looking. Maybe sometimes, look, you know they looking, let's kiss. Or let's do something. Let's give them a show. You know what I'm saying?
Reason to look.
Oh, yeah, give them reasons to look, and also understand that if there's a conversation that I need to have about my Black community, they understand that. I've had white friends that they understand that the cops are going to be on me more. So I've had a job where we might have been out on our lunch break smoking right at Union Station. So we might be smoking, and they're going to tell me, well, when the police come, just hand it to me. Because they're not going to say nothing to me, but they're going to say something to you. Those type of relationships I can have because we have an understanding of reality. And we know what's going on. But I can't be friends with people that can't, oh, well, you're just making that up. Or you're just doing this, or you're just doing that. So I can't have friends with that. So I want it to be that. But I know we're down on time real quick. Can I get my quick promos in?
Sure, yes. How can people contact you?
All right, what's up, you guys? It's your girl Stubbs. Make sure you check out the Stubbs Show on Facebook. Now, on there, I'm just growing a platform. I'm putting out new shows, but we're recording and doing productions. So you can find that under the Stubbs Show. It's my last name, Stubbs. Also, make sure you go on Instagram every Monday, 8 o'clock. We're doing a show to talk about hot topics. Whatever is going on in this world and concerning, we're talking about it. And I'm bringing on different guests, co-hosts with me, and different guests from all over the world. So make sure you check that out at Stubbs_the brand. Also on Instagram at _Stubbs_show. If you can see my name on here, Shedonna Stubbs, just Google it. Everything that I do will always come up. I just want to say this one thing before I go, because I like to leave something positive. My positive message that I want to leave is you can do it. No matter what's going on in your life, you already got what you need. Stop worrying about who you're going to lose or who ain't going to be with you. It's all about you. Put you first and get a little bit selfish before you keep worrying about everybody else. Until you meet where you need to be mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. I would say another word, but I'll say the F, just F. And sometimes you need that. So stay tuned. I'm putting out a book and it's all about the F it word. Until you learn how to say F it, you're not going to know how to go up or go down. F it means you're saying, I'm done with it, or I'm going to do it. That's all I got to say. Do it.
Look, mother had them, mother raised them, mother F them. Everybody, thank you, Shedonna. Thank you, Latesha. Don't hang up yet. This is a Skylyne radio show on Be Exposed Radio. Thank you for everyone that tuned in. We will be replaying these throughout the weekend. Stay tuned to next week's show. Latesha, let me know if you're available. We will announce, if not Sunday, Monday, who our guest will be next week. Stay tuned. Have a peace and blessed weekend. Thank you. Good night.